Well, hey everybody, how are you? Going to do a quick video today on the medical office staff, medical assistant, or perhaps a nurse wanting to go into the legal field. And is that a transition that's possible or valuable to attorneys nationwide? Yes, definitely. So let's talk about two different scenarios here. First of all, where could you work? Who could you work for? Well, in the personal injury field, you've got usually the attorneys on this side and insurance companies on the other, and you could work for either one of those. But then personal injury law encompasses a lot of different types of subset law areas. So it could be the field that I worked in, which was catastrophic medical malpractice. What does that mean? It means that the accident that occurred, the injury that occurred was life-changing. It was a catastrophe. It could be a plane crash. It could be a car accident where people passed away. It could be medical malpractice where a doctor performed work on a patient of any age and they did not survive or they were maimed somehow. Doesn't mean it was the doctor's fault, but this is where the case stems from. This is where family believes it was the doctor's fault, or that's where the case starts. So, or a bona fide mistake happened at the hospital. So it could be that you are looking at, and FYI, you don't have to have medical experience to go into this field. I certainly did not. So the natural transition, if anyone is looking at this field, but especially if you are already in the medical field, including dental hygienist, you can go into the paralegal field. You already know a lot of medical terminology. You've already dealt with a lot of clients. You've already organized records. So it's not as tough a transition. You still have to learn the legal side of it and how to maintain all the records and work a case, which is different than what you're used to. So that's the side, that's the variable that you have to learn that. But attorneys love when people come in and already have some type of medical terminology. And that's a cue for those who are looking at the medical law field and want to go into it but don't have any kind of medical office background or assisting or nursing. You can still go in it, and you can take a class in medical terminology if you like, or learn some things on your own. I certainly just went in and took the job, and we did personal injury cases and workers' compensation. Workers' compensation is one of the subset areas that has to do with injury. It's on the job injury, personal injury. Okay, so that's covered by different laws when someone's injured on the job, and different ways of going through a process of caring for that person and rehab and going back to work and limited work days and all of that. So, and there are separate courts set up in the states for workers' compensation cases. So it's an interesting area of law for sure, both areas, personal injury or workers' compensation, but there's also automobile accident law. It's a very interesting field, having worked in it. It teaches you a lot. You are able to be involved in going to trial and working cases, preparing for trial. That is very valuable for you if you decide, I've been in that for a few years, I want to go into a different area of law. Everything you've learned in the personal injury field will help you as far as organizing your cases and the documents you've seen and the detail you've had to handle will all be very valuable for any area of law you work in the future. So let's talk about where do people actually, like, what do they do if they go to an insurance company as a nurse, especially? Well, you might be involved in evaluating claims, the patient's claims. You might also be involved in writing policy and procedure in how to handle the privacy of the patient in compliance with the privacy law that was enacted called HIPAA, HIPAA. So for the attorney, you're going to work the cases. You're going to organize the cases. You may, order all of the I know you will. You're going to order all the medical records from all the places that provided care to the patient. At every single step, you have to get medical records and then analyze them, okay? So I would not hesitate to go into this field as a new paralegal at all. Whether you have medical or not, I would look at this seriously as a way to understand how to prepare for trial, definitely. And you can stay in personal injury for a year or two and then move into a different area of law. But the experience you will gain will be incredible and so valuable to your career. So if this is the job that pops up for you where they want to hire you and you're hesitant, I would go for it if you've checked everything else out in your interview, that this is a good place for you to work, that you'll do a 40-hour week, not much more. That's very important for you as a human being, to have your downtime, have your weekends free. So make sure that if you haven't taken my course, that you take that when it launches on January 15th, that you will understand the interview process, the cover letter, not the cover letter, but the interview process, and job ads and how to look for them, and how to handle a litigation case, and the systems you should have in place in order to work effectively as a paralegal and as a new paralegal. So if this job opens up for you and it's in one of these areas I've mentioned, workers' comp, personal injury, let's see, what else could it be? Automobile accident law. Then I would grab it and go for it, so that you can then have that on your resume and have all that knowledge behind you after a year or two. And then if you decide you want to make a change, you have all that. You are so detail oriented, you know how to prepare your cases, and it will pay off. I guarantee it. So have a great day. Don't forget to go to the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com. There is a wonderful video called Get Callbacks Now that I highly recommend you get. Sign up for that if you haven't gotten it yet. And I'm working on the website, so you'll see some things that aren't finished yet, but bear with me. I'm closing in on honing that and getting that to a perfect state today, but you'll see it's a work in progress and lots of changes on the website. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next live. Bye.